iOS 18. iOS 18 public beta.
Hmm.
It's out. I don't know. I didn't install it, but
I like it.
you like it?
Yeah, there's still in the earlier betas there was a big problem with well, there were a bunch of problems actually, but one of them was you can move the icons around and they still do a really bad job of like everything just moves.
Mm.
So I have everything on my home screen in a very particular order, like each row, and I could move a top row icon up where there's nothing, and everything below it like fills in some weird way. It's like, what are you doing? And then I have to spend time putting them all back where I want. I'm like, that's kind of bizarre. Like I don't you know how it is. Like if
Yeah.
iOS you move an icon and everything will fill in,
Mm-hmm.
appropriately. Like they need to kind of stop doing that. Like there should be an option for not auto moving everything else because I'm just moving an icon. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but the thing I like the most about it, honestly, is the visual style stuff. So like it has dynamic wallpapers and they can be set to particular color schemes, which or whatever, but you can also just leave them on. I think it's just called dynamic or whatever. And it will like your whole screen changes colors over the course of the day. So it gets like darker toward the night. And then the color, like you can't see this probably, but whatever this little stupid, wallpaper is, like that's the colors now, but like at night they'll be different. And the icons all get darker. It's a really nice look. Like it's I mean, knowing Apple, I don't know why they didn't do this years ago. It seems like such an obvious thing, but it's nice. And iPad, same thing, same. Which, by the way, is a first, right? They usually do iPhone first and wait a year, and then iPad gets that stuff. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't really mean anything to anybody, but that icon arrangement stuff
Mhm.
is actually pretty dang hard if you think about it. Because we had to do this with Start 11 because you can drag icons around, and to like simplify it, you kind of got to think, okay, you have to account for where everything goes at any given time and try to understand what the user expects. Like when it's done right, like you just kind of know it's done right. But like
I actually believe this is why they haven't done this
it could
feature
be.
yet, because in their "we organize everything for you" style grid, when you remove an icon or drag it
Super
somewhere,
easy.
it's
Yep, it just
easier to
whoop.
do the layout changes, right? But now you can just put the icons anywhere, and I can't tell you how many times my daughter's here for a couple of days, so I just showed this to her, and I did what I just described. I moved one icon away from all the other icons, and the whole friggin' thing relayed out. And I don't mean like filled in the normal order, which is what it should do. It moved things to different rows and stuff, and it's like, guys, what are you doing? Like, and I spent like a minute put it in all one icon at a time, back the way I want it, which is not intelligent, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get it there in iOS. What's the next one? 19? Whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
The other nice thing, if you want to talk about nice things, you don't have to buy a PlayStation to play Call of Duty early. That's the betas. Remember how that always was, right? You had 2 weeks
Yeah,
early
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, I think, but yeah,
No,
that's good.
pretty.
Well,
No, I think it
no,
was
wait,
last
you're
year.
right. Actually, I think PlayStation might have gotten it like a week or two early,
Yeah,
even recently.
definitely with the betas for sure.
Yeah, that could be. I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna look at this thing.
Good, I will. I'll let you
Yeah.
know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then AMD is going to launch their processors in July. They didn't announce the price though. I don't think.
No, and there's. I don't know I didn't pay too much attention to the desktop side of the equation, but there are 2 for the notebooks so far. I mean, there'll be more. There's a lot of changes. Like it's very interesting watching Intel and AMD kind of adapt x86 for this new world.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing that's been standard for a long, long time in the x86, x64 space is you come out, Intel or AMD comes out with these processor models, and they run at some thermal dynamic pot, whatever, TDP rating. So the U series processors you would put in thin and light computers, typically 15 watts, although now they actually have, I think, 7 and 9 watts too. Um, more powerful, like 8 series processors probably run at like 56 watts. Intel had like a P series for a couple of gens there that ran at like, I think I want to say 28 watts. And then that's not what they run at all the time, right? They can run at some range, but this is their kind of well, it's not even really their idle state. I'm not even sure what it is. It's their non-forced whatever, like their normal performance. But anyway, the new AMD chips, these at least on the mobile side, they're not doing that. They're not going to have UPH whatever series they used to have. They're just going to have these chips, and they can be configured by the PC maker to run at a range of wattage, TDP, whatever values or points, whatever it is. So you could have like the same exact chip, but it's in like a 15 watt capacity in a thin light computer, and then over here in a thicker big laptop or a desktop computer, it might run it. I don't remember the exact range, but probably 56 is somewhere in there. And interesting, there's going to be a lot of flubs. Like Intel's under a lot of criticism right now for mistakes or problems with the previous 2 gens. I've been bitching about that since they first came out. I mentioned it with reliability problems with like USB hubs. You remember from a couple of years ago? And then the Meteor Lake stuff, which is instantly orphaned, yet another radical hybrid chip design, all kinds of problems. And they're moving right along, so we're just like getting snowballed by these companies as they try to figure it out. So
yeah, they're trying to figure out what works against ARM effectively.
Yep. Yeah, they'll get there.
One of them will stick, and then that'll be the thing for the next 20 years
Yeah.
or whatever.
This guy's like the AMD, the HP laptop that was announced yesterday. This guy's like, so if this, 10-ish hours of battery life is correct, it's obviously 100% compatible with x64. It's got the powerful NPU. Like, what's the point of Snapdragon? I'm like, well, I can tell you one of the points. That laptop is like this thick. It's a freaking brick. Like, and I just got in a couple of review laptops that are not next gen anything. They're just whatever. But there is one of them is AMD based, which is why I agreed to look at it. And it's just whatever the current gen is. It's a laptop. It's thick and heavy and kind of clunky. But then again, like one of the things I've been doing lately, because I've been trying this on different computers, is last night I installed Doom 2016 on it. And this is like a little 13-inch laptop. It's thick, like I said, fans, whatever. That thing was running at like 90, 100 frames per second. Like it's like, I guess it depends on your needs. If you want that kind of thing, like you can do that in a laptop now. That's awesome. It's
not bad.
Awesome.
Not bad.
No, it really is. I mean, and you're going to pay for it a little bit. It's heavy, right? Battery life. I don't know what that is yet, but it's not going to be great. But different needs for different people, right? Choice is good, I guess.
Usually.
Is the theory.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all we got.
It's a Tuesday in July, man. We milked this as long as it deserved.